Good morning, everyone. Hope you like to stay inside and avoid the rain, so you can at least pay attention then. Otherwise, we have the rain to offer. Anyway, I will be speaking about a concept that we call Washmaster, and that has to do with how you clean your cargo tanks and how you can do that in a different way. So let's start with what do we do? Let's start with what we do today. How do we clean our cargo tanks today? We use a concept or a method called wall washing. And wall washing means that when you have completed your washing cycle, a crew member is sent down into your cargo tank and is making a foot sample or a sample of your wall where you apply liquid to your surface, and then you pick it up and you go and measure and see if you have any residues of the last cargo with it, and you get a pass-fail test. This has as many old truths and individual experience. There is no real way to do it. It's more or less every chief officer is doing it in their own way, or is deciding to doing it in their own way. The big fear of not being load ready leads to that you overwash, that you wash your tanks for too many hours, using too much water, too much electricity, too much chemicals, wasting time. This sample collection that you do up at the wall is very arbitrary. I mean, if I measure the cleanliness here on the screen, how do I know if it's clean on that wall? If I apply this much amount, how much amount do I know that I collect? And if I miss 10-20% of my liquid, or the liquid amount is not calibrated to what I check with when I calculate my ppms, well, how do I set the limits for cleanliness if I don't know how much volume I have, how many molecules do I pick up? I mean, there would be 10 molecules. If I have half a liter, it will give me a ppm of 20. If I have a quarter of a liter of liquid, it will give me twice as high ppm level. It cannot say you anything. It's not controlled. When you clean, you have very high nozzle speed out of your machine, and it more or less bounces off the wall of the cargo tank, meaning that detergent is not sticking to the surface and is mostly collected on the floor. And there it doesn't make any use. It's supposed to be on the wall to help you clean and to get out of the old cargo and the residues from the old cargo. And then the kicker out of this is that you need to send people down to inspect if it's clean or not, killing roughly 10 people each year because of pockets of gas or nitrogen where it's not oxygen. But that even if you're trying to make it gas-free, there are still pockets with nitrogen gas left inside your tanks. So what can we do instead? That is where the so-called Washmaster is coming into place. And what Washmaster is, it's a software that can help you track and monitoring your progress of your cleaning cycle. It will allow you to get a digital footprint or digital pattern of how much have you cleaned your tank. Knowing that, okay, now it's cleaned 2 loops or 3 loops around the complete cargo, instead of just relying on time, which, okay, if it runs for 2 hours, what does that say? Do you know if you have been 1 loop around in the cargo tank or maybe 3.5? And why only 0.5? Doesn't the other side deserve to be cleaned as much as the primary side? So now we can create a digital view per tank where you can go in and see how much progress you have done. You can see what angle the nozzle is working at. You can see the rotation speed of your tank cleaning, and so on. Not only is it progress and monitoring live, you can also store the information and get a log, a report to show to onshore, third-party surveyors, US Coast Guard, you name it, to charter, to show that, okay, I have cleaned my cargo tanks. The next pillar of this concept is to add a wash water analysis, so have continuously measuring of your wash water as it's leaving the cargo tank, so in the stripping line or something like that. And then you can see continuously, do the wash water contain more residue of old cargo? And as soon as you cannot see that anymore, you know it's clean and you can stop your cleaning process, shortening it, saving time, warm water, electricity, and CO2. The third and last pillar to this concept is the spray concept. This is how it looks today, with a very harsh, high turbulent flow, leaving all the detergent at this surface and then at that surface, not allowing for a widespread as this spray pattern would give you instead, where you create a mist and then you distribute your chemicals across the tank, allowing for a higher contact time for the detergents, making it more efficient, allowing for shorter time, allowing for less amount of chemicals, and you will have a cleaner tank. Once you're done with this, you put them all three together, you get your report as we discussed, you can digitally sign it off, you can follow that you have done all the steps that you need to do, and you can knowingly will, okay, I can leave this for our next cargo or for the next shipment. You have a track record of, okay, now I know how clean it is. You don't need to send a person down to check and to make the measurements. So, no risk for confined space entry, saving 10 people each year. Since you don't need to send someone down, you don't need to make it gas-free. You can keep it inerted at all time, saving quite a lot of time, up to maybe 20 hours. That makes your trip to port 4 or 5 hours instead of 24 hours. In a year, that's 1 or 2 extra shipments that you get free. You don't need to work your nitrogen generator, which is a heavy consumer of electricity. Electricity costs money. I will wrap this up with showing you one real case scenario for a multi-purpose prodigal chemical tanker. It typically changes between diesel or gas oil and then has methanol as its second shipment, and it goes back and forward between these 2 cargoes. It has 6 tank pairs and it is equipped with a super stripping line. Typically, it's using hot seawater or heated seawater for 90 minutes per tank pair. So in total, it takes some 9 hours. And then it needs to be rinsed with the fresh water for 30 minutes per tank pair. leading to a total of 3 hours. And then you need to inert it or refill the nitrogen gas again. So you have some total 24 hours at port working with your cleaning before you're ready to load again. And you need to make a confined space entry, risking the lives of the crew and the people. Instead, with our proposed Washmaster concept, you can have a 3-hour hot water cycle where you use the spray functionality, applying the detergent in a much smoother way, in a much more efficient way. We rinse with the fresh water for roughly 1 hour. The tank is already inerted, no need to send people down. We are in and out in 4 hours. Instead of being at port 24 hours, not earning any money at all. That's all, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. And thank you, Johan. I was thinking about, this seems to me that it should have been done a long time ago. Why isn't it?
As you know, in the shipping industry, there is... I'm losing it? Yeah. There is quite a lot of different stakeholders, with charters, owners, shipyards that constructs the ships in one way. And to get the understanding of this, well, the savings and the money ends up in different pockets compared to the ones making maybe initial investments. So it's about to start thinking about the full life cycle and sharing the contribution among each others. And then it's a change of mindset. And changing mindset, it's a journey, but once it's done, it's very, very efficient.